It has been said that if you want to understand America, get to understand baseball. And in many ways, the origins and traditions of the nation's favorite pastime reflect society itself. In the course of the next 15 minutes, I will explain the structure and basic rules of the game, so we can then all enjoy the highlights of the 1988 World Series of Baseball. The sport is rich in history, with the first set of standardized rules having been drawn up in 1845. The Cincinnati Red Stockings became the first professional team in 1869, and the first big league, known as it is to this day as the National League, was formed in 1876. Then came the rival American League in 1900 with the inaugural World Series, played between the champion clubs of each league, taking place in 1903. With the exception of 1904, the World Series has been contested every October since, becoming one of America's greatest sporting occasions. The two leagues, both consisting of two divisions, are still run independently of each other, but they are no longer rivals, and together they make up Major League Baseball. Now let's take a look at the baseball field and the playing positions. The central part of the playing area is the diamond-shaped infield, which has 5 key points. The pitching mound, where the pitcher stands. Home plate, where the batter stands. First base, second base, and third base. This is the infield. The distance between bases is 90 feet. The remainder of the field is marked out by extending the boundary lines between home plate and first base, and home plate and third base. The outer boundary of the field is determined by a perimeter fence. This area is often referred to as the outfield. The distance from home plate to the perimeter fence varies between stadiums, but most tend to be between 350 and 400 feet. This then is the fair territory of a baseball field. For runs to be scored, the ball must land within this area. If it lands outside the field of play, so-called foul area, runs cannot be scored. The objective of the fielding team is to prevent runs being scored. To do this, they use 9 players. The pitcher, a catcher, a first baseman, a second baseman, a third baseman, and a shortstop. They all guard the infield. In the outfield, more than 300 feet from home plate, are a left fielder, a center fielder, a right fielder. The essence of the game is the duel between the pitcher and the batter. The pitcher throws the ball from his mound some 20 yards away with speed and swerve. The batter tries to hit it. What the pitcher is aiming to do is throw the ball into the strike zone. This is an area directly above home plate, the upper limit of which is defined as a horizontal line at the midpoint between the top of the shoulders and the top of the uniform pants. The lower limit is the top of the knees. A pitch passing through this zone will be called a strike by the umpire. 3 strikes and the batter is out. A pitch passing outside this zone will also be called a strike if the batter swings and misses. However, if the batter does not swing and the pitch is outside the strike zone, the umpire will call it a ball. 4 balls and the batter is allowed to walk to first base.
Ball 4. And that would be his first walk.
There are 3 basic pitches in baseball, and a good pitcher will use a variation of these to try to deceive the batter. With the fastball, the name tells the story. The ball is thrown as fast as possible. To throw a fastball, the index and forefingers bisect the seams at the top and bottom of the ball. When done properly, the ball can travel at speeds of 95 miles an hour, which gives the batter less than half a second to decide whether to swing at the ball or not. A recent variation of the fastball is the split-fingered fastball, which is equally as fast, but has the characteristic of dipping viciously as it passes over the plate. The grip calls for the pitcher to move his index and forefingers down the sides of the ball until it almost becomes too uncomfortable to hold. It's the heavy pressure of the fingers on the side of the ball which causes it to drop like a stone over the plate. The curveball is a very deceptive pitch, as its dipping motion crossing the plate makes it hard to judge whether it's a ball or a strike. The grip is similar to the fastball, but the fingers are parallel to the seam.
Strike three, that's it. Got him looking with the curveball.
The slider is a pitch which, when thrown correctly, is particularly effective as it can move across the plate as well as dipping. The grip is similar to the curveball but is held with more pressure and slightly off-center.
Good breaking ball. That's that slider. It looks like a fastball right over the plate. You saw Griffin swing at the air angrily. It looks just like a fastball, and then it's inside.
This one bites, looking to break down, across and down.
Now take a look at this variety of pitches and how effective they can be.
3-2. Runners go. Fastball got him swinging. The third time he has rung up Eric Davis today.
Bombardozzi down swinging. 2 strikeouts for Eckersley.
Well, he's tough on his right-handed hitters, isn't he? That delivery when he drops down from the side with that curveball, or you can sink it in and run it in on you.
0-2 pitch. Goodbye.
Whoa. You talk about a yellowhammer. Wow. That baby never stopped biting, did it? Measure the break on this baby.
It's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
Oh. A real yacker.
3-2. Swung on and missed. Got him. Chased a breaking ball out of the strike zone to get him. Fastball blew him away. Got him.
One out in the ninth. And he knows it. 2 out.
Now, if you're on the fielding team, how do you get the batting side out? Well, as we've already seen, the batter is out if the pitcher throws 3 strikes. When the batter does make contact, he is out if the ball is caught before it hits the ground. Some catches being more spectacular than others. If the batter hits the ball along the ground, he is out if it's returned to base before he reaches that point. A member of the batting side can also be tagged out. For example, here St. Louis have Vince Coleman on second base. He tries to steal third base, meaning he starts to run to third base before the pitch is thrown. San Francisco have anticipated his attempted steal and now have him caught between bases. The second baseman, third baseman and shortstop now pass the ball between them until one of them is in a position to put their glove and the ball on Coleman. He has been tagged out. Occasionally, the fielding team can achieve 2 outs off 1 pitch. This is known as a double play. Take this example. The batting team have a man safely on first base. The next batter hits the ball along the ground, forcing the man at first base to run to second base. He is thrown out before he reaches second, and the ball is quickly thrown to first base to run out the batter. 2 outs off 1 play, a double play. Take another look in slow motion. The second baseman collects the ball, passes it to the shortstop to get the runner out at second base. It's then fired straight to first base before the batter arrives for the second out. But, of course, it doesn't always go the way the fielding team plan, as mistakes can and often do happen. How then do the batting teams score runs? A run is scored when the batting team advance a player around all the bases, from home plate to first base, to second to third, and then back to home. When a batter reaches a base safely, it is called a base hit, and subsequent hits can advance that man round the bases.
And that's whacked into left center field, base hit.
In this example, Pedro Guerrero is batting for Los Angeles. He makes contact with the ball and runs safely to first base. This is a base hit. The next batter, John Shelby, also gets a hit thanks to a Houston fielding error, which not only gets himself to first base, but advances Guerrero to second base. He's now only 2 bases away from scoring. The next batter, Mike Scioscia, also makes a hit and achieves an RBI, a run batted in, as Guerrero runs from second base to home to score a run. Some hits bring greater rewards than others, with the runners trying to cover as many bases as possible before the fielding team retrieve the ball. In this example, from a game between Detroit and Boston, Spike Owen makes a hit and is able to run to second base, while 2 of the runners in front of him get over home plate to score 2 runs. This would be called an RBI double. But the quickest and most dramatic way of scoring is to hit the ball over the perimeter fence within fair territory. This is a home run. The batter scores immediately, and so do any runners ahead of him on base. In this example, Jose Canseco of Oakland will smash the ball over the perimeter fence to bring the men on first and third base home to score, as well as allowing Canseco himself to run round all the bases for a total of 3 runs.
Whoa, he got that. Flattened back. And it's gone for Canseco. A 2-2, 2-out, 3-run homer. And Oakland leads 4-2.
Arguably the greatest sight in baseball is a grand slam home run. Now for this to occur, the batting team must have men on all three bases, giving rise to the expression, the bases are loaded. If the next batter then hits a home run, he will score as well as the three men on base. 4 runs off 1 hit. That's a grand slam home run, as Montreal's Tim Raines demonstrates for us here, and what was his first appearance of the 1987 season.
High drive into deep left field. McReynolds watching. Would you believe a grand slam for Tim Raines? That has to be one of the most incredible stories of the year in any sport. The first day back.
That has to be one of those stories. If you wrote it for television, they'd say that's too corny. It'll never work. Can you imagine that? And boy, I'm telling you, look at those Montreal Expos. They're really not only high fives there on the bench, they're just waiting for him and they're bowing to him and everything else.
A game is structured to last 9 innings. In each inning, the away team bats first. So the sequence goes, away team first inning, home team first inning, away team second inning, and so the innings continue. An inning is brought to an end when the fielding side obtain 3 outs. If the scores are tied at the end of 9 innings, extra innings are played until one team wins. The 9-man team bats in rotation throughout the game. Newcomers to the sport of baseball often find it difficult to understand the scoreboard, or the box score as it's referred to in America. This is how it works. These 9 columns represent the innings of the game. The columns show how many runs a team has scored in a specific inning. For example, in the 5th inning, Baltimore scored 3 runs, while New York scored 2 runs. The column under the letter R gives the correct score of the game, R standing for runs. So in this game, Baltimore lead New York by 6 runs to 4. The remaining 2 columns provide statistical information on the game. H stands for hits. So, thus far in the game, Baltimore have had 9 hits. Remember, to be recorded as a hit, a batter having struck the ball must get safely onto a base. E stands for errors. Quite simply, it shows the number of errors, such as dropped catches or bad throws that a team have committed in the game. So, now we're equipped with a knowledge of the rules and structure of the game. Let's sit back and enjoy the highlights of the 1988 World Series of Baseball between the American League champions, the Oakland Athletics, and the National League champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Our host is the American broadcaster Bob Costas, with additional commentary from Vince Scully and Joe Garagiola.
The Oakland Athletics showed no mercy on their counterparts in 1988 as they stormed to a team record 104 victories. 64 of those wins were saved by Oakland's bullpen, a major league record. And taking it all in greater numbers than at any time in Oakland history, were the A's fans. Under the quiet, astute leadership of Tony La Russa, Dave Stewart went from cast-off to the American League's only back-to-back 20-game winner. And Dennis Eckersley emerged as the game's premier stopper with an incredible 45 saves. But the big story in Oakland in 1988 was the bats. Big bats, wielded by big men, who, as the season progressed, would celebrate their biggest hits with a bash.
I was in the Coliseum late one night when my eyes beheld an awesome sight. An A's home run had begun to rise when suddenly, to my surprise, he did the monster bash. It's a ballpark smash. It caught on at a flash. He did the monster bash. Lansford and Parker then joined the show. They're calling this lineup Murderers Row. Canseco, Henderson, Steinbach too. When you come to the park, tell them Tony sent you.
And do the bash.
And do the monster bash. It's a ballpark slash. It'll catch on in a flash. Do the the monster bash.
And there was no question that the biggest basher of all was Jose Canseco, a man who, through a rare combination of strength and speed, established a new major league plateau.
Here's a high drive. That might be number 40. It's on the way, and there she goes! Number 40 for Jose Canseco. He's running. There's the throw. Number 40! Jose Canseco, the first man ever in big league history to do it.
Behind the founder and sole member of the 40-40 Club, the A's cruised into Boston for the American League Championship Series. Simply put, the A's quickly put the Red Sox away. Canseco connected for 3 home runs. Dennis Eckersley had 4 straight saves. And the A's confirmed their reservation in the World Series with an oh-so-clean 4-game sweep. Meanwhile, just to the south, the Los Angeles Dodgers were reveling in a remarkable turnaround, inspired in great part by the feisty attitude of newcomer Kirk Gibson.
1-2 pitch. Right on through the catcher into the screen. Gibson comes to third. He's going to try to score. The play at the plate. He scores and the ball game is over. Kirk Gibson on a wild pitch scores from second base. The Dodgers win 4-3.
A man by the name of Orel Hershiser won 23 games and anchored a most effective pitching staff, one that enabled the Dodgers to defy the odds and win the National League West. From there, it was on to the championship series, where once again, no one gave them much of a chance against the mighty Mets. But that just made them try a little harder. The playoffs were historic in that they bore witness to some rather sticky situations. Pine tar discovered in the glove of the Dodgers' top reliever, Jay Howell, forced Howell's unceremonious exit from Game 3. But above and beyond the controversy, it was mostly a series of last-gasp heroics. Mike Scioscia's dramatic ninth-inning home run off Doc Gooden was the turning point in Game 4, with Hershiser incredibly recording the save in the bottom of the 12th. That kind of selfless attitude forced the series back to Los Angeles, where in 7 games, the Dodgers sent the Mets and the experts packing. On a cool California night, an impossible dream had been realized. But in fact, it was just the beginning. The 1988 World Series, Los Angeles and Oakland. The All-California World Series. And although the Dodgers had lost Kirk Gibson to injury at this critical time, well, the show must still go on. And on the mound for the A's in Game 1 at Dodger Stadium was Dave Stewart. His opponent, rookie Tim Belcher, who saw fit to send a subtle first-inning message to an Oakland team loaded with power. That message, don't dig in. And what a coincidence, for in the bottom of the first, the A's had a similar message to convey.
And it hit Sachs on the helmet. And immediately a hit batter. We're watching Doug Harvey slowly walk out to the mound.
He's telling him that's enough of this. But this is pretty serious what we're seeing here. This is a message sent by the A's to the Dodgers after Canseco got hit.
But unlike the A's in their at-bat, Mickey Hatcher had an answer.
Fastball hit into left field and deep. Back goes Parker, way back. It is gone.
The irrepressible Mickey Hatcher had given the Dodgers a 2-0 first-inning lead, and did so with nary a trace of emotion.
I think Hatcher is symbolic of this team, playing first base, playing left field. In fact, that home run, he hasn't hit that many. He doesn't even know how to run out a home run. He ran in like they thought they were going to take it off the scoreboard. He really circled those bases in a hurry.
When I hit it, I didn't think I hit it high enough. I knew I hit it good, so I went all out because I wanted to make sure I was in scoring position after Saxey scored. I could see that they weren't going to have a chance to catch it, and I just ran. And when I seen it go over the wall, I completely forgot about Saxey, and I almost passed him up. But it was an exciting feeling, and that's something that's going to stand in my mind the rest of my life.
Unfortunately for young Tim Belcher, the lead was short-lived as Glenn Hubbard led off the second with a sharp single to left. Then, batting for the first time all year, Dave Stewart worked an 0-2 count into a walk. This was not Dodger manager Tommy Lasorda's idea of a good time. And after Carney Lansford walked to load the bases, Jose Canseco did what he does best.
And there's a drive to center. Back goes Shelby to the wall. It is gone. Grand slam home run for Jose Canseco.
And look where he hit it. Over the center field fence, a line drive. It didn't get up, it didn't get down, it just got out.
Makes Tommy Lasorda sit quietly, and that's quite a trick. It took a grand slam home run to do it. And did he ever smoke it?
Look at those arms with the speed. And you see that little hitch that he's got. He knows it's gone. He's going to watch it all the way. There's no park in America that could hold that one. He knew it.
Meanwhile, the Dodgers' big basher could only watch and suffer. But Los Angeles seemed to get a lift from Tim Leary's strong relief pitching and some smart defensive play in the fourth.
Big chopper to the hole. Flagged by Griffin, who wisely goes to Sachs, who will run down Henderson. Oh, what a heads-up play.
The Dodger faithful kept their poise and their faith, and they were rewarded in the bottom of the sixth when the boys in blue put another dent in Stewart. Mike Marshall singled to right, and then John Shelby followed with one that bounded into center field. Only one field remained to explore, and Mike Scioscia promptly obliged.
And he bangs it into left, base hit. Here comes Marshall to score. Stopping at second is Shelby.
The Dodgers had drawn to within 4-3, but Stewart cut short the rally with a Jeff Hamilton ground ball double play. The optimism of Dodger fans quickly dissolved into cold reality as Dennis Eckersley, the man of 45 regular season saves, came on to write the final chapter in the ninth.
0-2. Sidearm, mean, strike three call. That came from around the corner.
So many times Eckersley had the final word, and now with two out, only Mike Davis stood in his way.
And he walked it. And look who's coming up.
But this time the story would not end without one more most improbable chapter.
Before the game, he told me he couldn't do anything. And I was in the dugout planning on the bottom of the ninth inning, how I was going to work the bottom of the ninth inning. When the bat boy came down and told me that Gibson could hit, and I ran up there immediately to find out if it was true or not. And Gibby said, "Hey, I can hit for you."
He didn't stick around, I know that, but that's all he wanted to hear. He took off, like, oh, don't change your mind. And I went out in the dugout after there was 2 outs, and took my bat out there and was just praying that Mike would get on base or he would tie it up or just do something. I'd have the opportunity.
All year long, they looked to him to light the fire, and all year long, he answered the demand.
When I got out there, it started warming up, and the fans were outstanding, and the adrenaline started flowing, and I just got in there.
Fouled away.
There was a lot of visualization, a lot of talking to yourself and telling you love these situations refused to think about how I was feeling, even though it was hindering me my swing somewhat.
0-1. Fouled away again.
I got to watch the way I walk, the way I run, or if you call that a run, because if I do things certain ways, it grabs me pretty good.
Little nubber, foul, and it had to be an effort to run that far.
After I got 2 strikes, I just sucked it up, and when Mike went to second base, it took a little bit of pressure off of me because I was just basically going to try to hit the ball the other way. Base hit would have got him in. I just visualized that nice, relaxed feeling, seeing the ball come to you, using your hands and using your ability.
So the Dodgers trying to catch lightning right now. 4-3 A's, 2 out, 9th inning. Not a bad opening act. High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
With one swing, Gibson gave the Dodgers a stunning 5-4 triumph and forever earned a place in baseball lore.
My best visualization was to do exactly what I did, and the good Lord done it to me again. It's just a great moment. I feel very fortunate, and it's great that really the series started out for this way again for us and for the fans and for whoever's watching this game. I mean, it was a classic.
When Kirk Gibson came walking out of that dugout, hobbling, walking up to the plate with 2 outs, 3-2, and he hits the ball out of the ballpark on Eckersley. Unbelievable. You talk about excitement, you talk about drama, you talk about Hollywood script. They couldn't have written a finer script than that.
What an opening act, huh? I think we've got a leading man, and many of them, between now and the end of this great 1988 World Series.
It is Hollywood, this Dodger land, a place where storybook endings are the norm, and celluloid heroes never really die. Where with one swing, Kirk Gibson can make his mark, right along with the greatest leading men of the day.
A movie.
Yes.
If there were a movie.
Yes.
That would sum up.
Yes.
Sum up this year.
Yes.
This year.
Yes.
This year.
Yes.
What?
What, yes.
Would it be?
Annoying. A season that, let me put it this way, if Walt Disney was alive, he wouldn't believe the Dodgers were here.
Yes, it's a natural place for fairy tales to come true. But while Gibson was standing in for Redford in Game 1, the Dodgers' regular season leading man was a bit less flamboyant as he quietly closed out the regular season in search of the all-time record of 58 consecutive scoreless innings.
Unbelievable to go extra innings and give him a chance. The 1-2 pitch. Fly ball to right on a semi-check swing. Gonzalez, the record. Oral Hershiser, 59 consecutive innings scoreless. The all-time record.
Where else but in the land of dreams? Where else but Hollywood? So the Dodgers had passed the Game 1 screen test with straight A's. Now, the oral exam.
Battle flag.
It was like the first day of school for Oral Hershiser in Game 2. His parents were even there. But Oral hadn't done his homework, and he needed a little help.
Game 1 was so exciting with Gibson hitting the home run that I forgot to take my videotape home that night to study the Oakland hitters and how Belcher pitched to them and Pena and everybody else. So I said, well, I'm not up to date with these guys yet. So I watched a little bit of the videotape when I came to the ballpark for Game 2. I didn't really have it down pat how I wanted to pitch them mentally. So I had to put a lot of things into my mind and see how it worked out there. So I put a little cheat sheet together and laminated it and put it in my back pocket. And I showed that to Durwood and I showed it to Doug. And I said, I'm not back there looking for pine tar or trying to cheat or cut the ball. This is just a little cheat sheet. It shows me how to pitch to certain hitters. And I referred to it about 2 or 3 times during the game.
But it was Storm Davis who could have used some help, especially when facing his counterpart in the bottom of the third.
Number 55, pitcher, Oral Hershiser.
Pitchers aren't supposed to get hits. But then Hershiser's no ordinary pitcher. And now he was determined to be an extraordinary base runner.
I was on first, and we hadn't scored any runs. It was a 0-0 game, and it was 1 out. And I was over there thinking, I've got to get this offense started. I've got to get us moving, keep the momentum in our favor after Gibson's home run. I was thinking about stealing second. I was thinking about breaking out the double play. I was thinking about going from first to third on a base hit.
Sachs is about as good as the Dodgers have in going to right field or center field. And he went to right and has his base hit. And Hershiser's going to test Canseco. The throw to third, he's in there.
Right from the first step, I knew I was going to third. I wasn't even going to look at Joey Malfitano. I just wanted to light this thing up because people don't expect pitchers to run the bases aggressively. And I thought maybe I'll catch him off guard. Plus, it was a weak ball, hit the right field. And I made it. And when I got there, I was so glad because I figured we could put that team on fire.
Franklin Stubbs then did his part to fan the third-inning flames.
And there's the ground ball, base hit to right. Hershiser scores, and Sachs will go to third. 1-0 Dodgers.
Hershiser's hustle had paid off, and now the Athletics had to ride out the storm against the human dynamo, Mickey Hatcher.
Runner going, chopper up the middle, into center field. Sachs will score, stops to third, in there, down to second, Hatcher.
The Dodgers were teaching the A's about World Series history. The Game 2 lesson continued with the Marshall Plan.
High fly ball into deep left field. Back goes Parker on the track at the wall.
The Dodgers had stormed to a 5-0 lead in just the third inning. And then in the fourth, Hershiser continued to amaze. No, not on the mound, where his exploits were becoming legendary, but rather at the plate.
Griffin is going, and the pitch is slapped down the line. Fair ball. Griffin is being waved in. Canseco is going to relay to McGuire, and it's over his head. The run scored on a double by Orel Hershiser.
Orel would finish with 2 doubles, plus a single. The first pitcher to get 3 hits in a series game in more than 60 years. And as the game progressed, the Dodger defense did its part to hold Oakland at bay.
Big chopper into the hole, backhanded by Griffin to Sachs for 1, to Stubbs, double play.
In fact, it wasn't until the 7th inning that Oakland even threatened. But Hershiser had a plan of his own.
Well, it was first and second and 2 outs, and the game was 6-0 at that point. And with 2 outs and McGuire up in first and second, the only way the A's are going to get back in the game is for him to hit a home run. So I was really bearing down and trying to get him to pop the ball up or hit me a ground ball, anything, even a single, anything but a home run. And when I got him to pop the ball up, when he hit the ball in the air, I knew it wasn't hit hard enough to go for a home run, and I knew it was high enough that any of our outfielders were going to run under it. So I just walked off the mound and just kind of congratulated myself.
Hershiser had clinched the pennant with a 7th game shutout of the Mets, and now it was just a matter of time before he'd add to his stirring string of success with his 2nd consecutive postseason blanking.
And now it's a case of everybody out. A crowd of 56,000 at Dodger Stadium tonight. And now the chant, Orel, Orel. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We're going to have to beat Hershiser at least once to win this thing. So, I believe we will do that. But in that ball game, if you're down 5 and then after that 6, you're pretty much going to have to do a run or 2 at a time against him. If you get 3 or 4, you've done a good job. So the big inning in Hershiser, there goes game 2.
It was the end of a long and frustrating night for the A's. A national television audience had seen 9 innings of baseball. But a day in the life of a World Series involves a lot more than that. You've got to ensure that all the trimmings are just right.
I think I splattered your lens.
I had a free one, I would.
I think at this type of event, instead of getting yourself up to play, you got to tone it down a little bit.
Thank you, Joe.
World Series program. Buy it now or regret it later. Hey, guys.
Okay, Coca-Cola, Coke here.
Peter, they can't be asked to pull those back a little bit, can they, the cameras? The reason for it, you're going to get a third baseman running over here trying to catch a ball, and he's going to lose a face.
Somebody running for a foul ball could run into it, and, you know, safety first and worry about their camera angle second.
With our Senator Lloyd Benson.
We got the ball coming off the bat on Marshall.
Dun, 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 dun.
When day and night were finally done, it was time to travel up the coast to Oakland, a city revved up by the A's' past accomplishments and now confident that some home cooking would get them back on track. The Oakland Coliseum was the playground for the A's 1988 Renaissance, hosting its first World Series in 14 years. And although the hometown heroes were down 2-0, they were still having fun. Former Dodger Bob Welch was making his first start of the series, as was John Tudor for Los Angeles. Tudor had pitched but once in the last 24 days, and his tender elbow was a question. In the second inning, he got an answer.
0-2 to McGuire. Half swing, down he goes.
He's walking off the mound.
Yeah, he's had it. He's coming out because he knows well, now let's see. He was walking off like, I can't make another pitch if my life depends.
He wants to stay in the ball game. He's that kind of a battler, but you can see even warming up, it just was pain.
It was the last pitch John Tudor would throw in the series, as LA's injury list continued to grow. Once again, the Dodgers were forced to turn to Tim Leary out of the bullpen. In the bottom of the third, the A's turned on him, led by second baseman Glenn Hubbard.
A drive to left and deep. Back goes Hatcher to the track. It's off the wall. He played it into a 330-foot single. Shades of Fenway Park.
Hatcher's strong play was nullified, however, when Hubbard took a short hop into third. After 18 1/3 shutout innings in the World Series, the A's finally had a potential run just 90 feet away.
3-2 to Ron Hasse. And there's a base hit to left field. And the drought is over for Oakland.
After the run by Hubbard, the A's cupboard was no longer bare. Now the focus shifted to the decimated Dodgers, who trailed 1-0 in the fourth. More trouble. A back injury to Marshall forces Lasorda to slide Hatcher into right field, and he immediately makes his presence felt.
Fly ball into right center. Hatcher coming in a hurry, dives and backhanded it.
So you gotta love that guy if you're a baseball fan. He is the ultimate blowout patch. Wherever they play him, he gives you all he's got. Not too beautiful, but he gets the job done.
Now with Welch still in the picture, Jeff Hamilton singled to lead off the fifth for the Dodgers. Taking it play-by-play, Lasorda called for a sacrifice. Alfredo Griffin executed nicely, and that left it up to Franklin Stubbs.
First baseman Franklin Stubbs.
2 down. Hamilton at second. Stubbs drives one into right center. That's up the alley. It'll go to the 375 mark. Stubbs into second base with a double, and the game all tied up 1-1.
In the sixth, the Dodgers threatened again, led by Marshall's replacement, Danny Heap. Heap's double put Welch on the defensive. But his nightmare was just beginning. Next up, John Shelby.
Ground ball to the hole. Heap was going back towards second, so they'll stop him at third.
Luis Polonia's high throw to the infield allowed Shelby to motor into second. When Mike Davis walked to load the bases with nobody out, Welch found himself in the dugout, and the A's were left to their bullpen and a prayer.
What a spot for young Greg Cadaret. 26-year-old left-hander, bases loaded, nobody out. Socia, Hamilton, and Griffin due out.
That's the kind of situation. You know, you're talking already the 6. I mean, we've only got 12 outs to go, where if they put a couple of hits and they put a real crooked number up there, the way they were pitching, the way the ball not carrying at the Coliseum, it'd have been very tough to come back. Scotia up against Cadaret, bases loaded, you have no opportunity to nibble or try to be cute. You have to come after him with your best stuff. Probably the key to that first at-bat with Scotia was that he threw strike one with something. Now that changes the hitter's way of going after that at-bat. It also changes Cadaret. Next pitch, pop-up.
Big pitch to jam Socia, and there's Lansford. One away.
Cadaret then left in favor of a most confident Gene Nelson.
I was feeling that if Cadaret could get the out, I felt that maybe I could come in and get out of it. I had a lot of confidence going in. I don't know what I was thinking, but I had it going.
Well, I felt very confident with Gino coming in that situation. I played with Gino Beck with the Chicago White Sox, and he's the type of guy, he's done it many times with bases loaded, come in with no outs and got us out of the jam. And when Gino came in, I said, Gino, don't worry about it, just come right at me.
This would be a gigantic turning point for the A's if Nelson can get them out of the jam. And there's a high chopper down to Lansford. He's going to go to the plate. 2 down, falling down is Shelby, but he crawled back to the bag at third. So now the A's, who are at the bottom of the barrel emotionally, have a chance to escape the jaws of a lion. And what a story. Who represents the 2-out threat but the ex-A Alfredo Griffin. Chopper up along first. They're out of the jam.
Tremendous excitement on the bench when Griffin made the 3rd out. I mean, guys really got fired, pumped up, because all of a sudden, hey, this is one of the few good positive things that have been happening for us.
So it stood 1-1 into the 9th, where the Athletics had muscled the strength of their batting order into perfect last strike position to hand the Dodgers their first defeat. On the mound, the much maligned Jay Howell. His first mission, Jose Canseco. Canseco shattered more than just hopes, but there was still time for the stuff from which dreams are made. And there was still Mark McGwire.
It's the first time I faced Jay Howell in my life. 9th inning. They've been pumping me fastballs all night, pretty much all 3 games. So I'm really looking for a fastball to hit. I got behind the count 0-2, 1-2. I worked it to 2-2 and fouled off a few more pitches.
Right before Mark went to bat, after Jose had popped up, I made some statements on the bench about, all right, fellas, we're not going to win this game putting the ball in the air like that. Let's just try and make hard contact, put some line drives together.
It was good, sound advice, and it certainly made sense. But that didn't necessarily mean McGwire was going to follow it.
High drive up the alley in left center field, and this one is going to be gone. Home run, McGwire. And the kid from Southern California breathes life into Northern California.
Jay Howell challenged him with a fastball. He had some good cuts. He knew that one was gone right there. He took 2 steps, and he knew he touched one off.
I finally got a pitch over the middle of the plate where I got extended and got a good part of the bat on it. Right when I hit it, I knew it was going to go out, but then all of a sudden I picked up my speed of running, and it just went over the fence because I wasn't quite sure as it was coming down. Hitting a game-winning home run in a regular season game's a thrill in itself, but in the World Series, when you have the world watching you, it's something that you dream about when you're a kid. It's quite a thrill.
Another bit of baseball drama, and just outside the stadium in the NBC truck, director Harry Coyle was busy making sure the world got to share it as he called the shots in this, his 36th and final World Series.
10, get in all the way.
Stand by 7. Take 7. Take 2.
Up the alley in left center field, and this one is going to be gone.
Pick him up. Where's the man who hit it? Take 7. Take 7. Stay with him all the way around. Take 5. Stand by 1. Take 1. 1. Stand by with the losers. Stand by with the losers. Stand by with the losers. Take 2. Stand by 1. Take 1. Stand by 5. Take 5. Stand by 1. Take 1. Stand by 3. Take 3.
Capturing baseball's magical moments has been Harry Coyle's craft since his first World Series in 1947. In the years that followed, he's directed us all through some terrific baseball memories.
It's a high pop-up. Who's going to get it? Here comes Billy Martin digging hard, and he makes the catch at the last second. How about that?
Roger Maris at bat. There's one. It is deep to right field, and that ball is going, and it is gone. And the Yankees lead 3-2. There it goes, the long drive. If it stays fair, home run.
Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Baseball on television has come a long way since Harry began, and at every juncture, Harry Coyle has been there to make it that much better.
I hope to be remembered that I've raised my job function as director to a certain level that has dignified directing and something for the new kids to shoot at. I like to think that I've helped build the state-of-the-art of directing of baseball.
Baseball thanks you, Harry. Back on the field for Game 4, the Dodgers were now without Mike Marshall and truly were fielding one of the weakest World Series lineups ever, with a combined 36 homers all year, 38 fewer than McGuire and Canseco. It was the A's second look at rookie Tim Belcher, who had gotten a no decision in Game 1. That was also the fate of Oakland starter Dave Stewart, whose job on this night was to keep the pesky Dodgers off the base paths.
Leading off for the Dodgers, number 3, Steve Sax, second base.
Stewart's good intentions were off the mark to Steve Sax in the first, and without a power hitter in their lineup, the Dodgers sought to move him over.
Now we'll see about manufacturing. You will see a lot of this tonight, and it's not a decoy, a question of when you want to play hit and run.
For Mickey Hatcher, the time was now.
There he goes, hit and run ground ball into right field, and Sax will just keep on going, and that basically is the pattern. And for Lasorda, he's in business first and third.
You know, you have to play according to the team that you have. The team that we put out there did not hit too many home runs. So we had to manufacture runs, and that's what I told our team. I said, we're going to have to score, but we're going to have to score on hit and runs and steals and squeezes and sacrifice bunts, hitting the ball to the other side of the diamond. All of those things are going to be required to execute in order for us to produce runs. And that's exactly what we did.
And it gets away at the plate, so Sax will score. Hatcher to second, makes a turn and holds. And the Dodgers pick up a run in the first inning.
A further sign that the A's were in trouble came on a Mike Davis grounder that caught Hubbard on the meat hand. The A's may have been snake bit, but the Dodgers were falling like flies.
And it's hit off the glove of Stewart, deflected to Hubbard, who throws to first in time.
He may have hurt his leg,
And
his right leg.
is John Shelby.
He really hit that bag badly.
Shelby gave the Dodgers a 2-0 first-inning lead, and in a new twist, he was able to walk away from his injury and stay in the game. The A's wasted no time striking back as leadoff hitter Luis Polonia fulfilled his role. Polonia moved to third on a pass ball and then a ground out, and he was driven home when Canseco went the other way. The single run wasn't the kind of bashing Oakland fans were accustomed to, but at least they were in the game. And then defensive gems like this one by Walt Weiss kept the score at 2-1. But not for long. In the third, Franklin Stubbs took Stewart deep.
And he drives this one to right center. Henderson going back. It's over his head and against the wall. Stubbs on his way for two and has a stand-up double.
Then the improbable. With Davis at bat, Weiss's glove betrayed him.
Line drive off Weiss's glove, I believe. I think he should have caught that ball.
He nonchalanted that ball. He thought he had it all away, and he knows it. He did not concentrate on that ball. He was going to make the one-hand grab, and he got burned. He knows it.
And that look on his face told it all.
That ball was hit hard, no question about it, but he's right there. I mean, he doesn't have to jump or anything. Just barely has to get up, and he should have had that ball.
Incredibly, the Dodgers were adding to their lead, this in spite of the myriad injuries that had sidelined both leading men and supporting cast alike. And there was still more to come. Because in the fourth, with catcher Mike Sochon first and Danny Heap at bat, disaster struck again.
There goes Socha, and it's a strike, and somebody missed something there.
Missing a sign is one thing, but now the Dodgers would be missing their starting catcher for the remainder of the series. The burden shifted to 39-year-old Rick Dempsey. His job to maintain the even keel thus far displayed by young Tim Belcher. And with 6 strikeouts in just 4 innings, Belcher was spinning a rather convincing tale.
Watch the rotation on this ball, and you can see it. There it was. Look at those fingers spread. That rotation tells you it's a split finger, and it was in a great spot, and he was way out in front.
Belcher did run into trouble in the 6th, when with Dave Henderson on second, Carney Lansford tried to shake an 0-for-12 series drought.
Line drive into right field, base hit. Henderson will score. McGuire stops at second. 3-2 Dodgers.
The rally, however, went no further, and in the 7th, Stewart triggered trouble for himself by walking Alfredo Griffin, then yielding a seeing-eye single to Steve Sax.
Chopper up the middle. Hubbard can't get it, and Griffin's going to keep on going. Henderson will throw into second to keep Sax at first.
With reliever Greg Cadaret now in the game for Oakland, the Dodgers countered with pinch hitter Tracy Woodson. Once again, Los Angeles sought to force the issue and push across still another precious run.
There goes Sax. Thought he was going. Ground ball to short, and he beat the throw, and the run scores. They had to manufacture it. They had to have a guy who stole 40 bases do something instead of just stand around.
Oakland was down, but certainly not out, trailing 4-2, entering their at-bat in the 7th. They managed a run, and that knocked Belcher from the game. Tommy Lasorda went to the bullpen. Entered Jay Howell, the victim of McGuire's homer just a night prior. Howell was looking for a little redemption. What he got instead was some 2-out trouble, as Dave Parker got a gift.
Line drive off the glove of Griffin, and the bases are loaded. He should have caught it easily. What a break for Oakland as Mark McGuire checks in, and it's standing room only. Parker, Canseco, and Henderson out on the line.
A marquee matchup, Howell and McGuire, the sequel.
Popped up, Tracy Woodson. And the A's must settle for 1.
For Oakland, it was not a pretty sight. And then in the 9th, Howell disposed of Canseco. 1 out to go, and it was Parker.
High pop foul. There might be a play. Hamilton is there. He's got it. And the Dodgers hang on and beat the A's 4-3. with one of the weakest lineups we've seen them field all year.
We got him through. We got him through. Oh, yeah!
And that has to really be a discouraging loss to Oakland.
And Lasorda, you can see he's ecstatic by what happened here because now he knows he's got the lead and Oral Hershiser going tomorrow night for him.
Yet with so many walking wounded, one can only wonder as to the source of the Dodgers' motivation.
Well, first of all, you should give the MVP to Bob Costas because we were in the clubhouse before the game began, and he mentioned that this is the weakest hitting team to ever play in the World Series. Now, to me, what a tremendous victory it is for the weakest team to ever be played in the World Series to beat one of the best teams that was ever put in the World Series.
All right, Tom, I'd like to bring in Bob Costas, who was the focal point of your victory.
Happy to help out, Tom. Just happy to help out.
I'll call you when we need you again.
All right. I understand there was a roar in the dressing room during the pregame show.
That was, I don't know what they were saying, something like, kill Costas, kill Costas.
Well, Tom, it's nice to make the alliteration Hall of Fame, but if the Dodgers were killing anybody or anything, it was the odds makers and the A's dwindling morale. Now trailing 3-1, the Athletics sought inspiration from the past, from Raleigh Fingers, Reggie Jackson, and Gene Tennis, World Series MVPs when the A's took 3 titles in a row in the 70s, back when these two teams first met in the Fall Classic. Charlie Finley was calling the shots for Oakland then, and the gritty A's had plenty of character and characters. Before Game 1 in 1974, Alvin Dark's main concern was whether Reggie Jackson would be able to play. That question was soon answered with an exclamation mark.
There's a long drive to deep left going and gone. Jackson is homered to the opposite field.
Reggie's round tripper helped lift the A's to a 3-2 win, despite some late-inning heroics by the Dodger outfield.
He should come home and score. Wynn makes one throw, and Ferguson took it with the better arm. The throw! They got him! Oh, what a play!
As the 74 series moved to Game 2, the venerable Walter Alston was restrained as usual, but third base coach Tommy Lasorda was as glib as ever.
Get a good pitch now, Joey! Oh, get on it! Get on, ball! Get gone! Oh, yeah! It's a home run! Oh, yeah! I called that guy, Joey! I called it! Oh, yeah!
But when this series moved up the coast to Oakland, the A's proved unbeatable and emerged from the first All-California World Series as champions for the 3rd year in a row. Unlike 1974, this time it's the A's who trail in the series 3-1. But their fans aren't about to give up. Not yet.
This one really needs to be a blowout is what it needs to be. We need to be able to send a message to Los Angeles that we're still in this and that we still can't come back from it.
Hershiser's due. He's due to lose. He's been in a zone for 2 months. The odds are against him. He can't do it. 2 months, he's due. He's going to get bombed. He might not even last the first inning.
What do you think, Cody? You think they could do it? He said, yeah. He says, yeah. He says, okay. He said, go, 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 go.
But oh, baby, for the A's to go anywhere, they would need the firepower of Canseco and McGuire, a combined 2 for 28 in the series, a shadow of their former selves. With Hershiser and his crib sheet on the mound, things did not look promising for the A's. And Storm Davis did little to quell the Oakland fears when he faced Franklin Stubbs with 1 out in the first inning. Stubbs' 4th hit of the series set up some strategic interplay. All signs pointed to the Dodgers advancing the runner, but with Hatcher at the plate, who knows?
He's looking at La Russa. There's the message.
The pattern for Lasorda has been to play hit and run 2-1. The count here is 1-1. And there's a high drive into deep left field. Back goes Javier. Gone. Mickey Hatcher, a 2-run home run.
And that Dodger bench almost feeling like, well, that's enough. Look at him, all waiting for Hatcher.
who had turned LA's dugout into a madhouse and Oakland's into a morgue.
Baseball's answer to a loose cannon.
He's going to have to go to the instructional league to work on his home runs. He doesn't believe it. Now he's going to bash, and he hurts his hand. I tell you, he enjoys a home run.
But while Hatcher enjoyed it, the man on the mound appreciated it. And under the watchful eye of his father, he kept the A's off the board through 2.
Boy.
Come the 4th, however, Carney Lansford led off with just his 2nd hit of the series. Tony Phillips' infield single then gave the A's a little something to work with. When Walt Weiss advanced both runners with a perfect sacrifice bunt, Oakland could sense an end to the Hershiser mystique. And in fact, Oral's string of 21 straight postseason shutout innings was ended by Stan Javier.
And it's hit in the air to left. Hatcher is there, tagging is Lansford. The catch is made. Lansford will score.
But the A's got only one, just a moral victory, and their tiny rally was nothing
Way to work.
to lose any sleep over.
Atta boy.
As Game 5 moved into the 4th, the heroics of Hatcher again sparked the Dodgers.
And a high chopper. Tough play for Lansford. Bare hands, throws too late as Hatcher goes in on his landing gear. And the play backed up by Tony Phillips.
What happened next truly epitomized the frustration Oakland endured, dealing with a Dodger team that seemingly could do no wrong. With 2 out, former Athletic Mike Davis, a 196 hitter with just 2 homers during the regular season, worked a 3-0 count against his former team. 2 out, 1 on, Davis versus Davis.
So Storm against Mike. 3 balls, no strikes. They let him swing, and a drive to right. Canseco going back. It is gone.
Lasorda gambles on a 3-0 pitch. He got a fastball, and Davis, who came to the Dodgers with the reputation of hitting home runs, hits a 3-0 pitch and picks up 2 runs for the Dodgers.
So Davis, who hit only 2 during the year, hits 1 in the World Series. Hatcher, who hit 1 during the year, hits 2 in the World Series, and the Dodgers lead 4-1.
It's the manager who calls that pitch. And look, Ben Hines says, "Nice call, Skipper," because it was Lasorda who turned it loose. He's using every edge he can. And sure, Davis hits it, but he's got to have the green light.
Leading already 4-1, Hershiser's prayers were answered with still another insurance run in the 6th. 20-year veteran Rick Dempsey, passed over by so many teams during the winter, showed he could still rise to the occasion in the biggest game of all.
There goes Davis, and the ball is hit to right. Canseco with it hit over his head to the wall. It's against the wall. Davis will score. Dempsey will stop at second with a double, and the Dodgers lead 5-1.
Oakland now trailed by 4. A refreshing change for Hershiser, who was used to protecting 1-run leads. But there was still work to be done.
Let's go, babe.
With Tony Phillips on second in the bottom of the 8th, Oral faced the only man to touch him for a series RBI.
The batter, left fielder Stan Javier.
Come on, get in there, Javier.
Take your time, hold up. Have an idea. Take your time.
Bouncer up the middle. Scoring is Phillips to make it 5-2 Dodgers, and this crowd can make a little noise now as the A's are a long way from being out of it.
Hershiser then let Dave Henderson get away.
He had walked 2 batters in 7 innings. He has walked 2 of the 4 batters he has faced in the 8th. And Dempsey heading for the mound.
He's buying time because they're looking to make a move.
Jose Canseco, and how many times have we said it in this series, is the tying run. I think we sort of said let him go just then. So apparently it'll be Hershiser going head-to-head with Jose Canseco. 2 on, 1 out in the 8th, 5-2 Dodgers. You know what? This is the way it should be.
Exactly.
On the fists, a little pop fly to Stubbs. He jammed him, and it's the infield fly rule. Now that's $1 million pitch plus.
A wild pitch put both runners in scoring position. Now with 2 out, the Cobra came hissing into the batter's box. Dave Parker had all 3 hits off Hershiser in Game 2. This time he took a stab at a 55-foot curveball.
Got him on that low breaking ball.
That's pitching.
Against a man who had allowed just 4 earned runs in his last 100 2/3 innings, the A's could feel it slipping away. The Dodgers' impossible dream would, in fact, be realized if Hershiser could just get 3 more outs. All that was left in a season that saw the A's win 104 regular season games. But they'd be done in by a team of unmeasured chemistry, incredible heroics, maybe even a touch of destiny, and certainly a man with the Midas touch.
Got him. They've done it. Like the 1969 Mets, it's the impossible dream revisited.
He finished him off. That's a bulldog. Stop.
Bulldogs, mongrels, and a few stray cats thrown in for good measure. That was the 1988 Dodgers. For the Athletics, well, it always hurts more when you're favored to win and you don't. But then that's why when nobody gives you a chance, how sweet it is.
Nobody thought we could win the division. Nobody thought we could beat the mighty Mets. Nobody thought we could beat the team who won 104 games. But we believed it.
You gotta believe. Sure, it's been said before, but in 1988 it gained a fresh new meaning. And from most valuable player Orel Hershiser to one at-bat legend Kirk Gibson, the Los Angeles Dodgers made everybody else believe too.
At the press conference in February, they asked me to say a few words, and I said, the people in this city better buy tickets because they'll be fighting for tickets in September and October, and that we will all be dancing in the streets of Los Angeles in October. Yeah! Oh, yeah! And after each game, when we come into Clubhouse, our theme was, how sweet it is to taste the fruits of victory, and Kirk Gibson, give it to me. What is our theme at the end of each game? Say it one more time. Say it one more time. Say it. Oh, yeah! How sweet it is! The fruits of victory! Oh, yeah! What a team! What a team! Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
What a team, what a series, and what better way to remember it all than with a tender ode to the Dodgers.
One for the money. Hold this, we having a ball. This is it now. It's time to make my call. Here we are, here we are. It's nothing, y'all.
It's just Major League Baseball. Now check it out, we the world champs. Let me break it down before you stamp. I want to tell you right now, you can remember. Okay, the memories are tender. One for the money, now I'm profiling. People want to know why is this man smiling. Hey, he was a manager and they could have broke his back. But he kept telling his boys, now you can come back. One for the money, now hey, you get with me. First game, a home run by Gibby. Now we didn't have a chance, it's no jive. But we did it, yep, in 5. I don't want to give nobody no static. Clap your hand because we would be athletic. Now listen to me, now we gon' rock the joint. I want you to say Dodgers when you hear me point. One for the money, now they took us further. We celebrate the L.A. Dodgers. Come on, let's do it with a little bit of rhythm. Hurry up, it ain't no schism. This is Dr. D. I tell you why I bother. It's a parade for the L.A. Dodgers. No time, now hey, with good grammar. We celebrate the Dodgers into your camera, so that's it. Now one more time before you go. The people out here wanna let you know. Major League Baseball before I break camp. And our world champs. Bam.